Hi everyone, it's StariAri here with another pick a card for you guys. So this time we're going to be doing the Greek goddesses. So before we start, I do want to talk to you guys about what's coming up. So the first thing is the Magistrology Retreat, June 19th to the 22nd. This is going to be hosted by myself, Jax Atlantis, and the Peace Stealer. If you guys haven't checked out their YouTube channels or their Facebook business pages, I suggest that you definitely like and follow them, as well as subscribe. They are amazing, magical people. So the Magistrology Retreat will be a combination of magic and astrology. We're going to be going into depth about certain aspects of natal chart readings, your personal one as well. And so you have a fun-filled weekend with all three of us, and you can definitely ask us as many questions as you would like regarding this stuff, as well as galactic heritage information that we will be providing due to your current chart reading as well as your birth chart. Okay, so anyway, that is going to be on my website to register. It's going to be www.StariAri333.com. And if you guys have any further questions for me regarding the retreat or any other information that you would like to include payment plan options, make sure that you email me at StariAri333@gmail.com. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is my emailed readings. They are $33 for a 4-card pull, and it is a recorded message as well as a picture of the card pull. So I usually send this out via email, and this is a great price because usually I have my in-person as well as my online Zoom conference calls with people that are a little bit more expensive than that. So I highly recommend anybody who is interested to get a reading for that very purpose. So anyway, moving on. So this weekend, or actually I'm going to start it this Saturday, I want to start giving you guys some free readings, and it's just going to be for an hour at a time. So come join me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, as well as click on the notification bell so that you can get notified when I go live so you don't miss out on your free reading. So I'm going to be doing this hopefully every Saturday if I have the chance. If not, I'll let you guys know beforehand if I move it to a different day. And also, if you do have the notification bell on, you will know firsthand that I am on or I am live. So anyway, let's go ahead and start the reading. So here's card number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and finally number 6. So go ahead and take this time right now and pause the video. Ask your higher self and guides which card applies to you the most at this time. Okay, remember, we're honing in on the goddess energies, which is the goddess that you are most like. So go ahead and do that now. All right, let's begin with card number 1. So if you chose card number 1, you chose Persephone. All right, so Persephone, she is a dual goddess. Okay, so there is duality in her energy. So she is the goddess before she became Persephone. She was named Kor. She is daughter to Demeter, the goddess of pretty much agriculture, but Persephone is the goddess of plant life, and she does take some of that agricultural, like planting and growing things all around the mother earth, you know. So that's what she used to do before. She used to be one of the many virgin goddesses. But since Mr. Hades, her husband, abducted her, that didn't work out anymore. So then she became the goddess of the underworld. And due to the legend of her abduction, she actually became kind of like a dualistic energy. So in the legend, there is an explanation why the seasons change the way that they do. So for 4 of the seasons, so spring, summer, and the fall, Persephone is with her mom Demeter here on Earth, doing their thing, you know, growing plants, things like that. So taking care of the planet, you know. But then for one season, she goes into the underworld with her husband Hades. So that's winter time. Okay, so that's how the Greeks explained the changing of the seasons. Okay, so again, Persephone's role in the underworld is kind of big. She's not just a kind of like supportive role. She's actually an equal role in the underworld, because if you've had looked at the other legends of the Greek mythology involving her, she has a great say about who is able to come into the underworld, retrieve the loved one, and exit out as well, and other types of treaties about souls, things like that. She's definitely the one that people seek out for this. Okay, she's the one that says yes or no. So she definitely has a very key role in this. So if you chose this goddess, then you are very similar to her in the way that you have a dual nature, where you can be sweet, kind, and generous, and very nurturing and motherly. Just again, that's what the goddesses of plant life and earth, taking care of the earth, are similar like that. And you also have a dual side of darkness, where if they do mess with you, you will definitely, you know, bite back. So that's how this energy works. For 3 seasons out of, you know, the year, you're very kind and generous. And then winter comes around and you're just like grumpy and like, leave me alone. Just kidding. But yeah, so anyway, another thing about Persephone that I like about in particular is the legend that it kind of like when you know that she kind of mimics the energy of Pisces, okay? Like the star sign Pisces, because when you think of Pisces, they are born in between the winter and the springtime, right? Just before the spring, you know? And so they have that dualistic nature about themselves, where they're very like bubbly and happy and loving and caring and things like that. But if you cross them, you don't want to cross them, okay? It can be very vengeful. So anyway, that's how I see Persephone, is kind of like the sign of Pisces and like personified in that way. So anyway, so that's what I have for you guys for card number 1. Next is card number 2. So if you pick card number 2, you have Hecate. All right. So every witch, every Wiccan follower, every person that believes in magic believes in Hecate. So why? Because Hecate is the goddess of magic and darkness, not in a bad way. It's more like the hidden mysteries, as well as necromancy. So she was able to raise the dead, okay, in that way. So anyway, a lot of legends about Hecate. A lot of it has to do with her helping women, you know, heal, empower, as well as traditional kind of like magical circles, all that good stuff that witches like, okay, or people who follow Wicca definitely like. So with this being said, she usually connects with the divine feminine in the way of like lunar cycles, as well as ceremony and ritual. Okay, she'll teach you that. Okay, whenever you need to manifest something, you can use the energies of Hecate, the moon, and your own divine feminine energies to go ahead and pull it in together. So she's one of the triple goddesses. Okay, so she is definitely the many faces of the feminine. So one of the many faces of the feminine, divine feminine. So if you chose this card, you definitely are connecting in that way of like, you know, magic, witchcraft, and connecting to your divine feminine daily, where you manifest things through your own, you know, your own femininity, as well as your own belief in your own magic. Okay, so you are definitely a creator energy, and you definitely have a triple energy within yourself of like the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Okay, so that's what Hecate represents. And so if you pick this card, you definitely connect in this way with her and with yourself and with the world around you. So that's all I have for card number 2. All right, next one is card number 3. And if you chose card number 3, you chose Hera, the goddess of all gods and goddesses. So Hera is the sister and consort of Zeus. So she is known as the goddess of marriage, as well as birth, or she presides or protects women that are in labor, as well as women who are, you know, pregnant. Okay, even though she does this, or she represents this in legend, oh man, she was a very jealous person. Where she would find out that her husband was, you know, going out and having some relations with other women, other goddesses as well. And all of a sudden he had children with them. She was trying her hardest to kill them. So that's kind of like a contradiction, you know. But anyway, I mean, poor woman, you know, you would be pissed off too. But anyway, and she didn't really have, you know, it's kind of like with Zeus controlling everything, she doesn't really have a say, you know what I mean? So she's not that equal to Zeus when it comes to sharing the throne. Like, she'll do her own thing, but if Zeus finds out and he doesn't like it, she has to stop, you know? It's not like with Hades and Persephone. Hades and Persephone are more than equals. And then with Zeus and Hera is definitely a power play there. There's not much that Hera can do regarding Zeus's infidelity or whatever it is that he wants to do. So anyway, this is energy that is definitely dualistic in nature as well, where she'll provide protection, she'll provide everything for a, you know, a marriage to work, as well as for a safe delivery of children, but she can also, you know, be vengeful and take that away. So that being said, if you connect to this, you're probably most likely connecting to that nurturing side of things, where you like more of a traditional role, like you believe in marriage, you believe in a more like traditional role when it comes to relationships like that with, you know, with your other half. And then of course you definitely believe in having children and procreating. So if you connect to this energy with Hera, you're definitely like that. And also you're very protective of your family and your children, of course, more than anything. So that's all I have for you guys on this card. Next one is card number 4. And then if you chose this card, you got Athena. So Athena was the goddess of knowledge, wisdom, and justice. Okay. She was also kind of like the opposite of Aries, where she did do war. Like, she was she had a thing about war, but she was more of a tactician instead of just full blown, like, just to kill, you know, like just warring just to kill. She was more like tactful about things. So total opposite of Aries. But anyway, so she provided a lot of insight, a lot of information to whoever it is that worshipped her, as well as, like, she was pretty much the patron goddesses of all politicians, of all, like, scientists, as well as, like, anyone who wants to have higher education and knowledge. So the Athenians, for example, those people were very much, they believed themselves to be very intelligent, very sophisticated, because a lot of the things that we have, like democracy, those things that are what a lot of Westerners believe to be civilized, comes from Athens. So it's kind of like a big group of like growth in that way, with philosophy, with sciences in that area, you know, in the ancient times. So she represents all of that. It represents the growth of civilization, represents the growth of philosophy, the growth of ideas, of higher education, of the mind, of thinking in the scientific ways, of wisdom, of you know, justice, so judiciary stuff, you know, laws and things like that. So if you chose this card, is because you definitely have a personality that is very inclined to those things, very scientifically minded, very research savvy, I would say. Also, you like justice to be served. You also thrive in civilization, and you have a lot of things that you ponder regarding, you know, life itself. So a lot of philosophical theories you ponder, as well as you tend to assist in teaching others to do the same. So there's a lot of growth that you like to explore about yourself, as well as like all this knowledge around you. So very much of a bookworm, I would say. But if you are confronted, you do like a good, you know, debate. So that's where that warring area comes in, where you're like more tactful about it. All right, so that's all I have for this card. So the next one is card number 5. And if you chose card number 5, you chose Artemis. So Artemis was the goddess of the hunt, of animals and nature. Okay, so she protected animals, she protected nature. You can say that she was a very first animal activist. So with her, she's also the twin of Apollo. Okay, but in legend it says that she was born before him, like a day before him. But anyway, they're very much like always together in all the legends and things like that. So Artemis herself is definitely a very fiery spirit, very devoted to you know, helping the animals that she takes care of. Her, you know, patron, I would say her animal totem is the deer. And so she's definitely one of those forces to be reckoned with. If you are, if you feel that someone is abusing animals in some way, you're definitely honing in on that Artemis energy. You will hunt them down. So that's why you pick this card. And you're also very inclined to assisting the weaker ones. You know, like it's kind of like, who's going to protect the weak if I'm not going to protect them type of mentality, as well as very heroic, as well as very devoted to life itself, of like saving lives, especially when it comes to, again, nature and animals. So you're definitely a humanitarian, as well as a you know, a animal activist, and you know, you definitely want to help with the natural world in itself. So most likely you are a vegetarian or a vegan, or you tend to eat in moderation, like animals in moderation. So anyway, that's all I have for card number 5. Next is, and this is the final one, card number 6. So if you chose this one, you chose Aphrodite. So you chose the goddess of love, the goddess of love and romance and lust and all that beauty as well. So in legend, Aphrodite was definitely very lucky in love. There are some incidents that there was definitely like competition. For example, there was this one time where, and this is the legend of Adonis, okay? So this is where you hear the whole Adonis being the most handsome man on the planet, because he had the attention of Aphrodite and another goddess, Persephone. So Persephone and Aphrodite both fell madly in love with Adonis because he was such a gorgeous man. He was a hunk. So they were rivals for a while until finally Zeus intervened and was like, you know what, we're gonna split his time in half with both of you guys. So Zeus is the whole over here, the mediator. So he split the time in half. So half of the year, Aphrodite would have Adonis with her, and then the other half of the year, Persephone would have him in the underworld. So eventually Adonis fell in love with Aphrodite, and Persephone was very jealous and hurt about it. So, you know, in her own way, in the way that she sought revenge for this, she sent a wild boar to attack him, and he died in Aphrodite's arms. So that's very sad. So tragic romance, you know. But anyway, if you connect to the goddess of love, then you yourself are like that. You are just definitely in love with love. You definitely seek to have deeper connections, emotional connections with other people. And it's not just romantic love. It could be definitely platonic love, where you love your family, you love your friends, you adore everyone, and you have a big heart, and you just share that love with everyone. And of course, everyone loves you back. So that's very fair. And then of course, you definitely, you know, fantasize of the perfect mate, or maybe you already have the perfect mate. And you just are definitely full of romance and love and devotion. And so Aphrodite is also connected to the planet Venus, by the way. So connected to the signs Taurus and Libra. So if I would choose the sign that represents Aphrodite the most, I would say Libra does, because I know a lot of Libras that are definitely in love with love, and they love being in relationships. Well, it has to be the right one, of course, but if it doesn't happen, or if it doesn't work out, then they move on and they go on to another relationship, and on and on and on and on. Tauruses are not the same in that way, but they do love to be in a relationship. And it takes them a while to devote themselves. Like if they are devoted to someone, it takes them a while to heal that if it doesn't go, you know, perfectly. And then they are definitely very much devoted to their partners. And it takes them a while to move on. So that's why I always say Aphrodite is similar to Libra, because Aphrodite moved on real quick after Adonis died. So anyway. So if you pick the card, you're definitely like that. You definitely love being in love and spreading love all over the place. So that's all I have for card number 6. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys some other time. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.